everyone, and welcome to another episode of Types of Functions. So in this episode, we're going to talk about linear functions. Now, you've worked with linear functions many times before. Linear functions have quite a few different general equations. One general equation that you have seen a lot is y equals mx plus b. And this is the equation that we are going to work with in this class. Y equals mx plus b, where m is your slope and b is your y-intercept. Now, a couple of other ones that you will see that we won't work with a lot, but we still will work with, are going to be ax plus bx equals c, and we call this standard form. And then one that you're going to work with a lot in calculus is going to be y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. And that is point slope form. So those are our general equations. The one that we are going to work with the most this year is going to be this one here, which is y equals mx plus b. So it's going to be your slope, your y-intercept. The graph of a linear equation is always a straight line. It's always a line, right? Which, if you spell linear, you have line at the beginning of the word linear. So it is always going to be a line, and it could be positive. So reading left to right, it's going to be increasing. It could be, I'm really bad at changing colors. Oh, goodness. I meant to hit undo. It could be negative. It could be a straight line like this, or it could even be a vertical line. A vertical line is going to be a special case here where the slope is undefined. So slope is undefined. So those are your different types of linear equations or linear graphs. Now, a couple of things to note. They all have one y-intercept and they all have one x-intercept. One y-intercept and one x-intercept. And you can solve those by plugging in 0 for x or plugging in 0 for y. So let's write that down in features. So they all have one x-intercept, and to find that, plug 0 in for y. So one x-intercept, and you plug 0 in for y, and you would solve. And then you have one y-intercept. And to find that, plug 0 in for x. Okay, features, it's always a line. It has one x-intercept, one y-intercept. There are no curves. There are no maxes or mins. Your domain is always going to be negative infinity to infinity, which means in set builder notation, x such that x is an element of the real numbers. Your domain is always all real numbers. In this class, we write our domain in interval notation. There will be some where we do it in set builder notation, but for the most part, interval notation. Your range is also going to be all real numbers. So this is interval notation. In set builder notation, that looks like this. And what that means is y such that y is an element of all real numbers. So your domain and range for linears are always going to be all real numbers. And how you know that is because these arrows, they extend forever in either direction. There is nothing that's going to restrict your domain. There's nothing that's going to restrict your input or your output. So that's just a brief overview of linear equations.